Welcome back. This is the travel Onewheel that I use when I go around the world. In this video, I'm going to disassemble the entire board and put it into my suitcase so you can see how I travel along with this thing. You'll notice that my board uses TFL varials, and that's what we kind of utilize to let this board split into three. I don't think that's what the Float Life had as the intention for building it that way, but it's kind of a nice side effect. So just like in the previous video, I'm going to take out the batteries, and full disclosure, I tried recording this video already and I ran out of space on my SD card, so the battery's already going to be disconnected. Now, in a more practical sense, if you were just splitting this into three and putting it into your carry-on luggage, you wouldn't even need to do this step, which is kind of nice because as long as you were able to disconnect main power and each individual pack from each other, technically you have four separate packs, and I would, I guess in that case, probably just put like some electrical tape on maybe the connections so that they're physically disconnected, and if a TSA or the security agent asks you, you can prove it to them. But I'll just do this for demonstration's sake, but also because I need to charge these batteries out of the box for right now. I think from the last video I mentioned I don't have a BMS in this thing. Anyway, jumping back into it, I'm going to take out all my VX wheel packs. So here's 1, 2, 3, and 4. So that's all done. I'm just going to put the cover back on. Again, not strictly necessary. You could just toss this into your suitcase as is. And I guess if you wanted to do it as another step, you could put this guy back on top. You notice the rest of the board is now leaning the other direction because I've removed all the weights. Maybe not the smartest move, but we'll work with it. Okay, so next is I'm going to remove my TFL varials. So let's loosen up the axle bolts first on both sides. I really cranked them on last time, so just gonna make sure I can actually pull them off. For those of you watching and I'm doing something wrong in this teardown, let me know. I can't pretend that I am a mechanic in any way. So here's one side. And look at the other side. I'm just going to loosen on this side so the motor doesn't, or the rail doesn't drop off the motor entirely. One kind of improvement I have considered is with TFL varials, you need to basically put in a screw into these center points right here to pull the center stees out of the side rails. So I have considered just leaving 2 screws in there, but for now it's not a big deal. It's not that much bigger to speed up. So let's get this in here. Okay. 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 One side down. Now, before I do the next side, I do need to pull the motor connector out, and one issue with the current design is that I don't have easy access to pull this off without this rail coming off or the center stees coming off. So I will have to do a little bit of kind of faffing about with this side. In my final design for the controller box, I think I can fix that so that you can have easy access without having to pull basically the front bumper off. But I'll do this pretty quickly. You can see that it's not that big of a deal, even in the current design. So I guess I'll show you the side as I'm doing it. Okay. I have tried just like lifting up this single screw up here, but I don't think it's enough, unfortunately. Like I can get on the screw of my motor connector, but to actually pull it out, I think I need a little bit more leverage than I currently have. Anyway, let's pull out the center stees on this side, which just need to go in on here, and then pull out the axle blocks. Just one concern is obviously I've done this before pulling motor out, so it's a little bit not so great, but we'll work with it. Okay, so. Okay, battery pack separated. Now what we need to do is get the motor off of the controller case. As I said, it's not particularly easy, but I might be able to kind of no, just do it right. So we have a little bit more space here to work with. There we go. So now I have the motor off. Basically, all I would do is deflate this tire, which I'll go ahead and do right now. I'm just going to use a screw to let out the air. Again, I don't know if this step is strictly necessary, but especially since you're in a pressurized cabin. But if you're taking this in your checked luggage, it's probably a better idea to do this step. Once all the air's out of this, out of the tire, you could take the valve stem out as well. Again, I don't typically bother with that step, but if you wanted to be really safe, you could go ahead and do that. For me, now the motor, and I might even take off the axle blocks if I was actually fitting this in my backpack. This you could just toss in your backpack as is. And for me, it fits in my kind of like roll-up backpack pretty easily. I'll bring it over here for just demonstration purposes. So I usually just toss it in this little bag right here, and I still have space for my laptop and other things as well. Try not to carry this around too much because obviously it's pretty heavy on your back, but it's not a big deal for like just getting in and out of the airport. So anyway, that's the tire, so I'm gonna set that aside. And okay, so the last step is really putting this into my suitcase. So let me first put this bumper screw back in. Now, if I can get it to align. Or not, I'll just do that later. So all the screws that I took out, I just put into this little bag. This is what comes with the Float Life, I think GT, like basically screw kit. And for me, it kind of does a job for getting all these screws in the same spot as well. So let's just go ahead, put those in here. Hopefully, I don't lose these things before the next part of my trip. Okay, so have all my screws there. This is basically as far as I get with this assembly on my Onewheel. And what I'm gonna do now, bust out my suitcase, ignore the mess, but basically this is a carry-on size suitcase. At least it's US legal, and I think most European airlines is actually okay with the size. I don't have any issues with it. What I do is I take my battery box and my controller box and I just toss them in here. And they kind of fit within a little bit of a margin. Now, I think if I had the option to redesign the variables, the only difference I would do is maybe make the ends a little bit shorter just to make it fit a little bit better, and maybe make the center seats a little longer, but it's a niche use case, and honestly this still works. Then I toss in my center seats, which again is easier with the Growler ones than these XR size ones. Put this on the wrong way, but we'll make it work. This goes in here, this goes in here. Put my screwdriver, my parts, and I have a little air pump, and I guess my rear foot pad. So there is the entire Onewheel, and I'm just gonna zip it up and close the suitcase. So that's pretty much it. And then the battery packs, I guess this would go in there too. The battery packs, in my case, since I'm just doing carry-on, this could just go in here as well. But for additional separation, I put these in my backpack with the motor, and all the things that TSA or any security agency might want to inspect will be in the same spot for them. Anyway, that's a full disassembly of my Onewheel, and yeah, If you have any ideas on how to make travel boards even easier to use, like, I'm all ears. I have some ideas that I haven't yet been able to build out or share. So in the coming weeks, hopefully, as I'm traveling around, I can continue to share that stuff. And when I get back to the United States, I'm going to re-engineer this board maybe a third time just to kind of dial it in a little bit more. So yeah, feel free to toss any comments or feedback on this video. And yeah, looking forward to hearing from all of you. Take care. Bye.